Hey guys, in this video we'll talk about a very interesting thing. As we will see, there will actually be a miracle escape as well, but I would like to talk about such an interesting thing as loss of objectivity. This is, I think, a very common psychological trap for players of almost any level to fall into. Basically what happens is that you're playing a game and whatever's happening, you might be, better or winning, but then you're no longer winning. Or you might not be even better, but you're just facing a lower rated opponent. Or you're just a person who's, extremely competitive and doesn't take draws for an answer and always wants to win. But what happens, I think, to pretty much all the players, to some more, to some less, is that oftentimes you misevaluate the position, or you even evaluate the position as an equal one, but still want to win so bad that you start taking unnecessary risks. And this is exactly, I think, what costs so many players so many points, loss of which could have easily been avoided. So the position you're seeing in front of you is actually my own game, which was played nearly 5 years ago, so definitely a rather old one. And unfortunately here I've also suffered from the same disease that I'm condemning right now. So I've played an opponent rated about, I would say, 300 points lower than myself, and obviously when you have an opponent like this, you would want to win like any time with any pieces from any position. And I also felt this way. I was much younger, way more, what's the word, either ambitious or naive, or kind of a combination of both. And I really wanted to win. I didn't want to draw here. Honestly, White King is really weak, and the second rank's very weak. And probably what I should have done is just some move like Queen e6, when after, for example, Queen f2 check, we just get a repetition right away, don't we? And this would have been a perfectly logical ending of this game. This is what should have happened. But I thought, no, I need to keep going. I need to win. My opponent's weaker. He'll make a mistake. And I played Queen g2. And this slowly but surely started to cause me problems, because now he played Queen f3. And actually, my extra kingside pawn is not useful whatsoever. It will be easily, they are easily stopped, or somehow just they don't have that much value, and the two black pawns are easily stopping my three pawns. So really I don't have an extra pawn on that flank. But my pawn on d5 is actually weak, and black does have an extra pawn on the queen side he can try to roll with b5 and then c4. So what I failed to understand is that in this position, whether I would win or not does not depend on my desire or on the fact the opponent's lower rated. It depends on the fact I don't have any ideas. My position is very passive. You cannot win a position if you're not posing your opponent any problems, and here I simply cannot do that. So at this point, I went Queen b2. My opponent played King f7, and I could have still taken a draw. Like you just go Queen h8, and you just repeat the moves, or black repeats the moves. But I kept waiting, and I kept waiting. I wanted some pawn endgame, but black didn't really need it. And again, I kept waiting. And now it's already clear that the two black pawns here are no worse than my three pawns, and black's literally just having an extra pawn on the queen side. So basically black's just a pawn up, and white's still looking to win. That is absolute absurd. And I'm always emphasizing to my private students, they should not be doing this. You should not be doing this. It doesn't matter who your opponent is, whether he is a world champion or 500 points weaker than you. If he got to this position in the game, and if you're already worse, worse in the long run, there is no reason you should be playing on as opposed to taking a draw whenever you can. This is double-edged, and not even double-edged. This is a simple hopeless strategy to pursue. But I kept going. I went Queen b2. And here was my last chance to make a draw. I should have gone Queen h8, and I would have again been able to repeat the moves, either with Queen 8 or Queen g8. But again, too stubborn, I played Queen c2, and unfortunately here, the draw is already gone. My queen's already not getting active because black always has Queen c3, and he is just looking to play a4, b3, and that would be pretty much it. No matter how hard I try, here I already understood I should have rather played for a draw, but it was a little late. So I tried something. I played King h3, and then Queen e3. I'm looking to give a perpetual. Here I'm already very happy to settle for it. And if say queen d5, I have queen e8 check. Now, I know that my king's gonna be mated, so I'm not in a position if the king retreats to like take a pawn on a4 or something, because it's mate in 1. That's a scenario I'd rather avoid. But I can just keep checking, and black will have a hard time doing anything. It will be a draw. But, of course, black already didn't want to allow for it anymore, so he went queen e4 check. Now I retreated to c1, black took. I'm trying, but I cannot get anywhere. And unfortunately, my queen is stuck. Moves like queen h8 would look very attractive if it wasn't for mate in 1. So I just keep waiting, and there is no hope. And I just keep waiting, and there is no hope. And I just keep waiting again. I tried to even sacrifice another pawn, just to make sure I'm not getting mated that way, and my queen is at least somewhat active. And actually, I'm not sure if my opponent really even needed to take this pawn, because now he actually had to make some pretty critical decision. The question is what black should do. And I'd like you to pause the video. As black, you're 2 pawns up, your pawns are very close to promoting, and I would like you to find a way how black can win. There is even a few ways. What would you do as black? Alright, I hope you took the time. So black has a couple moves here. He can try something like queen c4, and after queen e8 he will eventually be able to run away, even though it does not look that simple. But the cleanest path, even though that's quite difficult to find, would be to play d4. And give up a pawn, and then play queen d5. Now the queen's coming to a dominant position, and again the threat of mate in 1 is way too strong, so I'm just dead lost. And if instead I were to give a check, the whole point of this d4 was that now black has queen f7, and all the checks are more or less over. I mean, I can give one more, but that's literally it. Black can just play the king h7. Unfortunately, even just one a pawn would be good enough to win this game, and I am facing way too many. Dead lost for us. But my opponent played a horrible move queen b2, and actually ended up running in a perpetual check. So here, the problem is that if queen g7, maybe that's what he was hoping for, I can take, and if king g8, I'll keep repeating this way, and if let's say queen f8, again check, and he is not escaping checks, or if let's say he goes queen h6, again I just keep repeating check, check, and there is no way black can escape checks. So the game ended up in a repetition immediately. And obviously I got incredibly lucky here. I should have really lost it. And to be honest, I would maybe prefer, like right now, you know, looking back, I would maybe prefer to have lost it back then, because probably the lesson I would be given would be way more precious than the rating loss I would temporarily suffer from. But still, I mean, at that time I was very happy I did not lose, and I mean, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, maybe now I'm also happy I did not lose back then. But basically the lesson I wanted to teach you now is that you need to be objective, you need to try to learn objectivity. Chess is a great tool to learn objectivity for the other life purposes as well, but even for the purpose of the game of chess itself, it's a super important thing. Whether you're playing a friend or over the board in person or online, or because your opponent's short on time, whatever your reasons are, don't do things like one I did in this game. And as you can see, I tried to play for a win, but the only thing I accomplished was playing for a loss, because my play did not create any threat, and this was very poor, and the only reason why I saved this game is because my opponent just was not careful. He just got careless for one move. And that's another lesson you need to learn from this video. Don't get careless. Even in such winning position, you still gotta deliver that full point home. So I hope you've liked this short video. Again, some miracle in here and some chess psychology in here. Please let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button and that like button, and leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I would be very happy to hear them. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching and take care.